Welcome to the Panic Button. I'm Nina.
I lied.
Okay.
Welcome to the Panic Button. I'm Jessie.
I'm Nina. Oh, switched it up today, huh? Now you got to introduce the video. You don't even know what we're doing.
Why do I have to? You can just take it away.
Today we're reacting to a liberal Democrat rejects woke activists as he votes to ban trans sex changes for kids. Did you hear me?
Sex changes. A Democrat's against sex changes. Watch how his peers like it.
Thursday to help pass a ban on gender reassignment surgery for minors. Peterborough progressive Joda Wheeler saying he doesn't see the benefit in allowing kids under 18 to undergo this kind of life-altering procedure.
I will fight until my very last day, until they are recognized as human beings. The question before us is whether or not children under the age of 18 should be able to get these surgeries. And I, despite being a liberal who believes in those human rights, do not think that is the case.
Opponents of the bill, including Jerry Cannon, one of the state's first openly transgender lawmakers, say this ban could cause harm.
It's not right for New Hampshire. It's not right for the transgender community. And I hope that our young people don't take this message badly, because I'm concerned about the health of many young transgender people.
So that dude right there who's pretending to be a woman, his name is Jerry Cannon. Jerry Cannon is a 69-year-old dude who is dressing up like a woman. He started taking
Estrogen?
hormones 16 years ago. That would make him 53. So what the does a 53-year-old man know about transitioning as a child? I would like to know.
I don't know, but I'm happy to hear someone who is still left identifying, at least admitting the truth. And then you have people like this, obviously, that make it really hard to fight this fight. But if you want to say that you should let children do it, then why did you do it as an adult?
Oh, he would say it's because he didn't have the option.
Was he dressing as a woman before?
No.
Then why?
This is a very good question.
Because at least, I'm not going to transition ever. But, if I were to eventually do that, which I won't, but if I were, it would make sense because I dress like a boy. Mm-hmm. People would be like, she didn't change her outfits, though. You know what I mean? So if you dressed real feminine before, I can at least be like, oh, whatever. But it's what led you down this path? Because you were wearing a kid when you did. You had a whole life. You were past midlife crisis. So why are you talking about minors?
But also,
that black guy looked like he's maybe in his 30s. At least he has a better reference point of age.
Nothing screams womanhood more than a dominant man. And I understand why these guys pretend to be women, why they dress like women, because it's much easier and lazier to just dress like a woman than actually act like a woman. There's no long-term studies on the transitioning of children. Right now, children that are transitioning are part of the study. It's all experimental. And other people have said there are long-term studies and there are studies, and I'll send you links and stuff like that. But these long-term studies that they're talking about don't follow up on the detransitioners at all. So how can they be long-term studies when they're biased? And who's funding these studies? You'd have to do an unbiased study where you would get the information from multiple different therapists and doctors and have them follow up with every single patient for 10, 20 years. But usually what happens is they'll do the study and then they'll only follow them for a certain amount of time, and then other people who have transitioned just kind of fall off the map. So there's no good data. The countries who have done studies on this stuff have backpedaled because the results haven't been very positive. But whenever people like this, they talk about how transitioning children is good and how it's a benefit for their mental health. I have never, ever heard them cite a study that was valid, or if at all. They might say, this study, blah, 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 and then they won't actually give you details on it.
There's not enough of a sample size or not enough of a long-term studying actually happening, is what you're saying.
Yeah. So why do you think that Jerry Cannon is for transitioning children?
Hypothetically, it's everything, because the entire reason they were even able to speak at that microphone is because they transitioned.
Yeah.
And people admire them for it. For them, it is the best the best thing they've ever done is transition because it's the only thing that's given them notoriety.
Yeah.
And so if you were to sit there and say, I transitioned and it's the best thing ever for me, but don't do it to your kids, you see, it's hypocritical.
But but he didn't transition as a child.
No,
So how can he speak on like I'm a trans woman, never transitioned as a child, but transitioning was good for me, so it'll be good for the kids. That's what I hear him saying.
They only see it as positives. You become a victim, everyone looks down as like, oh, you need everything. To them, to say no, don't do this to kids, is to say what they're doing is wrong in one way or another.
Okay, you've been on medications, right? You taking medications? So when your doctor offers you a medication, like for depression or something like that, they say, here's the medication, this is what it's going to do for you, these are the side effects. They give you the good and the bad, so you know what you're expecting. That's not
true, though.
What?
That's not true, though. You've had enough doctors not tell you the downsides of your medications.
But it's very, very easy to Google that shit and
It
find
is.
out.
I'm just saying, you can find the information, but your doctors are not the first person to tell you.
Google hides that shit about the negative effects of transitioning as a child. Google buries that shit.
Yes, but Google will tell you what the negative side effects of your medication are. And the reason I say that is because doctors...
And most doctors do, and if they don't, they hand you a fucking sheet. I know about the side effects of transitioning, but I've done enough research. When they're talking about transitioning, they never talk about the bad. They only talk about the good. It's like a cure-all.
Well, because, like I said, to them, it's their livelihood. It's what's made them successful in life. Why would you ever talk negatively about something if you want nobody to knock it?
Because you care about the negative effects it'll have on people that you don't know, like the public, children.
They don't care. They're selfish, self-indulgent people.
So why are they speaking on behalf of the people?
They want to make the rest of the world victims. And they want... the religious part of this is, I'm a saint. I've been a victim. I'm a martyr for my cause if you guys don't push this through. You're killing children. You made it to 50-something and then transition, but we're killing people by not letting them transition. This is the problem with identity politics. Because hypothetically, 10, 15 years ago, if you would have talked to me and said, oh, they're a transgender member of the community running for office, I'd be like, well, that's a part of my community. I'd be at least look into what they're doing. That's the problem. Identity politics. Because of their identity, you have an open mind to what they are looking to do. But you're not listening. When you stop listening and just simply go based off of identity, that's the problem. It's great. Don't get me wrong. I have nothing against real transgender people. I think they're fine. I don't think that they're going to cause problems because almost every single one of them says don't transition children, if not all of them. That's a rational transgender person. I'm willing to hear what they have to say to get into office. But if it's someone who's going to blindly say, because I'm this, do this, I don't care. You could be an elf. You could be a unicorn. You could be the most majestic thing on this planet. And if you're still trying to fuck with kids, get the fuck out of here.
When women said we wanted representation in society and in government, we didn't mean men who say they're women. Okay.
But they
chose. We meant women.
No, but they chose to accept these men who identify as women and let them speak for us. They chose that because of identity politics.
Because the patriarchy be so crafty.
Wokeism is just smuggling the patriarchy back in. They abolish protections for women under the guise of it being woke, and then they take the power back. This is a Trojan horse for the patriarchy. Don't you see?
They identify as a feminist. And because this person is obviously also a feminist, clearly, then we must support that person. But what if they're not?
What if they're not? What if they're lying? Could someone from an oppressed class ever lie? No. Are you kidding me? That would never happen. Never. I live in La La Land, by the way. Hi. It's all rainbows and butterflies. I wonder what that's like to live like that. Like on the street interviews when they ask women, are trans women women, and they say yes. I wonder what it's like to live in that brain. Like, do women like that walk around and...
They think they're good people.
By being inclusive?
Yeah. They
But
think
did they think that there's such a thing as being too inclusive, though?
No, they think they're holier than thou because they see this as an individual and they're not mad at them for being themselves. But I'm not mad at anyone for being themselves. You want to dress feminine? You want to look like a chick? I don't fucking care. I have a problem with you pushing it on kids, with you pushing other people into your wheelhouse because other people don't have to be in your wheelhouse. But they really think that they're better than you. I remember hearing this chick talk about how she was fighting men because she heard this guy being transphobic outside of this place. And I'm like, you know how stupid that is? I literally told this woman, I was like, this is why it's better to walk away sometimes because, like, you don't want to come up to someone who's truly aggressive and actually hates people. You don't want to come up and start fighting that motherfucker. They could probably kill you. But they think that they're better than these people. They think they are defending them.
When they do that street epistemology or they do the on-the-street interviews and they ask them that, I always wonder if they've ever asked them, how could you convince yourself that your opinion is wrong? What is the opposition of your opinion? And how can you convince yourself that that's right? Like, there's so many questions I have for these people that really believe that trans women are women. What kind of life did they have? Did they struggle? Did they ever see anything that showed them that there is evil out there, that people lie?
It's a mixed bag. It's a mixed bag.
So how can someone who has seen, like, the negative in people just blindly accept people based on who they say they are? I mean, if a guy is walking in my house and he's stealing my shit, he could say that he's just there to put it into storage. Now, am I going to believe the dude that just walked into my house and said that he's going to put it into storage, and that my dad called him and asked him to do that? No, because I don't know you, sir, and no one called me and let me know. But why is it, why is this different? Is it just the oppression class? It's just everything that's going on with America right now has everything to do with oppression?
So the people who've never seen anything bad that agree with this, they agree with it to be good people. The people who've seen bad shit and let it happen still and agree with it usually see them as victims, and that's where identity politics comes back in because they identify with that. And I've been hurt, they've been hurt, they just need to be loved. That's their mentality. And, like, it's not a bad mentality, but, like, you don't want these people just barging in your homes. You don't want to let them have rule over your children. You don't want them running the government if they're going to sit there and try and sterilize your children.
By transitioning them. Now that is trans genocide.
It's crazy because they keep saying that we're not having enough babies, and yet you're stopping babies from being made. So, like, do you want the U.S. to die? Is that what you're saying? Do you want us to be supporting ourselves as old fucks? Okay, I don't care. I'm just curious. Here she is. Pretty Persian America.
Like, what else could you ask them that they wouldn't? Like, if I asked you and you believed that trans women are women, I said, why? And you'd say, because they identify as women. And I would ask, what would make you believe that they're lying? What would make you hesitant if they were being honest or not? And why? And do you use that mentality when it comes to everybody or only certain people? And why? What makes the guy who's dressed as a woman different than just the guy, aside from identifying as such? And what makes him less scary to you than just a regular guy? Like, I have so many questions. Anyway, like and subscribe. Do you have anything else to say? Like and subscribe. Have a good day. This went off the rails.